Welcome back to Wild, Wise and Curious, Embracing Our Journey, where we're excited to continue the conversation around all things peri and beyond. We'll continue to explore all our stories, challenges and importantly the wisdom we learn along the way. As usual, we'd love to chat with women just like you who might like to share your own perimeno or post-menopause stories with us. We can't wait to chat with you. Welcome to Wild, Wise and Curious. Today we're chatting with Jill. Welcome to Wild, Wise and Curious, Jill.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so how did you come to realise you were in perimenopause, Jill?
Well, I wasn't. I've never been in perimenopause because all the way through, it's been through since my teens, I've had trouble with my periods, really, like blood clots, really heavy flowing. Crikey. So I've been through quite a few procedures. I've had an ablation where they burn the lining of your womb. Oh. I've had a hysterectomy where the gas and air and the pain relief, you don't know how to get on, it's terrible.
Crikey, okay.
And then I've had prostate injections to stop. So I've had all kinds, and then they'd work for a bit, and then it'd come back again. Right. And then pain down my left side, and then endometriosis was discovered then.
Right, okay.
And then, so it was back and forth to hospital, back and forth, and then this was going on for ages and ages, and I'd say about 6 years. Trying stuff, and then my periods were getting worse, and I'd be flooded off my feet in bed, like losing blood clots.
Crikey.
So after that, then it was the big decision, like, do you want a hysterectomy? Right. And I gave birth, I've had Owen, my son.
Yeah.
And he's 25 now, so I thought, yeah. So regarding the hysterectomy, they said, do you want your ovaries removed or do you want to keep them? Now, if I knew now what I know then, I would have kept my ovaries because that's the half the battle of trying to like regulate your hormones. If you keep your ovaries, you're all right with your estrogen, your progesterone and your testosterone because they're at a balanced level.
Yeah.
Like natural menopausal women because you're phased into it.
Yeah.
So I was just under the impression, get rid, Jill, because I'd gone through that much pain.
Yeah, it's understandable, Jill.
Blood loss. So the first thing in my brain was get everything out. So I thought it'd be better. So went in, had the hysterectomy, everything was fine. And then the surgeon come and spoke to me and he said, good job you took your ovaries out because you had 5 centimetre cysts on them.
Oh my goodness.
So there was cysts and then all endometriosis lesions down the sides. But bearing in mind, when I was going for the camera regularly, the cysts weren't coming up. Okay. They could never find them because they were must have been embedded.
Right.
So you can't always see on a camera. You can't always detect. Sometimes there's hidden things, especially with endometriosis, because it can get anywhere over your body.
Okay.
So all that come out. I was made up then, and then bang, just right into surgical menopause, which was just honestly off your feet. Just takes you off your feet because no one prepares you, and this is what boils me blood so much.
Yeah.
Women who go in for hysterectomies or chemically induced or early onset menopause cancer treatments should be counselled before and after for the effects. But obviously you can't do that because of the NHS, which you get. But everyone's journey is completely different to a natural woman.
Yeah.
You know, you're not phased into it. Everything's different. So I understand that they haven't got the time and the money to sit with a woman and say, we're going to do this. Because if you think how many women have gone through surgical menopause, it's in the thousands.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why women end up going privately. And half of these women can't afford it. And for the ones who can't afford it, my heart breaks for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're left. So then after that, I was just out of the hospital, go on, you go home, get your HRT from the doctor, nothing.
Wow.
Comes home. I was all right for about 2 days and then just bam. It's how can I explain it? You're looking in on yourself, sort of a detachment.
Yeah.
And it's you're just saying, what is going on? It's like you're living in a dream in a bubble. Because the ailments of the menopause are so severe that you're just thinking, is this really happening to me? So, or, is this my life, what it's become?
What sort of symptoms were you getting, Jill?
One day I'd be all right, and then the next day I'd be like the Exorcist.
Right, okay.
my head was swiveling. Well,
Yeah.
not really swiveling, like, but, that bad that you could actually kill.
Yeah.
It's that bad. Like, the rage inside you is unbelievable. And then you'd be all crying and really needy and thinking, what is going on? It's like, and then twice I got to the point where I could have, like, actually done something to myself because I was that lost.
Yeah.
And I took myself to the doctor and I said, I don't want to be here no more because it was that bad.
Yeah.
And then when you go to the doctors, they're like, well, we can only start you on a low dosage of estrogen, which is no good because if you go into the surgical menopause under the age of 45, which is young, you need a higher dosage of estrogen, and they're not prepared to give you that. So you're left swinging.
So did you start, what did you start on?
She started me on something called, I started Lenzetto, which is a spray.
Yeah.
Done nothing for me because they'd only start me on a low dosage. Then I went on to Estrogel.
Yes, that's what I'm on.
But they were saying I couldn't have as many pumps as I needed because it's not licensed. Oh no, you can only have this many pumps, it's not licensed.
Yeah.
That's another thing as well. That's another conversation. But you just go so deep into like what you're allowed for an estrogen woman in surgical menopause.
Yeah.
Anyway, after that, patches, which I was all right on the patches.
Yeah.
But then, this is where it gets really dark. And I thought to me, I was never counselled or taught. No doctor ever sat me down in my own doctors and said, right, what estrogen actually does. Because we have estrogen receptors all over our body.
Yeah, we do.
And then for a younger woman who's going through surgical menopause, came to think that the more estrogen you had, the better you are. So I was piling it on, and like thinking, yeah, my levels actually got to 2,000, that high. I was like walking around, my eyeballs were like popping out my head.
Right.
So I was thinking, yes, that's right, I need this and I need that. And then my hair growth was like really fast. And I was trying to get estrogen everywhere, and I actually managed to buy it off the web.
Really?
And started like injecting myself.
Wow.
Someone was saying to me, do this, do that. And then it got to a point where I had to stop.
Yeah.
Because they were saying you can actually have a heart attack or a stroke. I was going, I feel fine, I feel okay.
Yeah.
And they were saying, no, you can't do that. So then comes another battle, lowering my estrogen, which is really hard to do.
Okay.
When you can't have none. So if you have too much estrogen or too less, if you're dominant or less, they both have the same effects until you hit that sweet spot.
Yeah.
So you're always searching for that, and that's what it was, because that's why my mental health went, because I've never found my sweet spot. So it was either taking too much or too less.
Okay.
So while you were going through this, Jill, were they doing blood tests and stuff to check what your levels were? Yeah,
sometimes, but not all the time. So, like, I was like, because people were saying to me, oh, you need more estrogen. So I was thinking that was the answer.
So this was just friends and things telling you this rather than the GP?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because to be not knocking GPs or doctors or nothing, but they knew nothing. They know nothing about surgical menopause. I'd go in there and I'd come out sobbing because I went in none the wiser.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting nothing, and they were saying, no, you're only allowed this, you're only allowed that. But they should like, this is what boils me blood. They should have a doctor in a surgeon to know for women in surgical menopause.
Yeah.
Because it's not fair.
No.
They might need double the dose of progesterone or testosterone than what a normal woman needs.
So
and then I ended up like going over there, and I'd kick off because they weren't doing nothing for me. My anger would get the best of me and I'd be crying.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be, and they'd be throwing antidepressants at me.
Yeah.
It's been a really hard slog for me, really bad. Yeah. Not like saying my journey's worse, but it has been. What I've learned to myself in the last 5 years, I have learned myself. Not one GP and not even one medical. I've been to see private menopause specialists.
And
I've learned myself. To be honest, I've spent like nearly $2,000.
Yeah.
And I've done it all myself. So you might as well just threw the money and pissed it up the wall. Sorry for the language.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
But, I might as well have just done that.
Yeah.
So I've been through all the HRTs, I've been through the patches, the Eastergel, the tablets, you name it. Now I'm on implants in my stomach.
Okay, and how's that for you?
Better for me.
Okay.
Because it just releases a little bit of estrogen every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, but regarding before that, I had to bring my estrogen levels right down, so I had to go cold turkey.
So how did you do that? Did you just go cold turkey, or did you come down really gradually?
I came down gradually, but I couldn't have no estrogen. Couldn't have nothing.
Wow.
So it just had to bring it down, and then the menopause doctor in the women's hospital, you've probably heard of Dr. Briggs, Paula Briggs.
Oh, I don't know if I have actually. No.
He said British Menopause. No, like Dr. Louise Newson.
Yes.
He's the British Menopause Society.
Oh, okay.
She's one of them.
Yeah.
I went to see her and she went, I'm not treating you. Your levels are too high. You're a danger. She was the one who said you're going to have a stroke. And I was like, oh, what are you talking about? I'm not. And this is where it differentiates. As you see, Louise Newson will give you as much estrogen as you want.
Yeah.
You know, she will help surgical menopause women, and I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But then you've got other people on the other side of it, like the British Menopause Society. Oh, no, you can only have this, you can only have that. And then when I've looked back into that, them rules that were made by men.
Yeah.
How can men, control women menopause? This is what really boils my blood. I could sit here and go on all night. But I also, through all this journey, I had to give my job up for 5 years because my brain went and I couldn't do it. Sitting at a computer, staring at the screen thinking, what's going on here? Why can't I? Tears rolling down my eyes.
Yeah. Oh,
and honestly, but now, I feel after 5 years, it finally took me 5 years to find. It's not just even all your progesterone. There's loads that goes into it. It's your nutrition, isn't it?
Yes.
As you know,
yeah.
Supplement, mental health.
Yeah. Exercise, looking after yourself.
Histamine intolerance, that's another one.
Which one, sorry?
Histamine intolerance, that's really bad if surgical menopause women. I speak to women who've one of my friends has just gone through genetic testing.
Right.
And it's found that she's got what is it called? A mutant pathogen or something.
Okay.
Because she's got too much estrogen in her body, which she was under the impression the same as me, estrogen. And it's made something in her body go now. So she's had to incorporate more progesterone to balance that out.
Okay, that's interesting.
So some women can't take progesterone because it gives them sensitivity or mad dreams.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gave me headaches. I struggled with progesterone.
Yeah, it does. But there's just so much, honest to God. It's just unbelievable.
So how old were you, Jill, when you went through surgical menopause?
44. I was. Yeah. But even now, I still can't balance it out. I still can't. I still struggle now.
So what are you on? What HRT are you on now? You've got your implant.
In my stomach, the HRT pellet.
And what's that? Is that just estrogen?
Yeah, she won't give me testosterone because when she done my levels, my testosterone is 2.1, which is rather high. But she said next time she'll give me testosterone.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't think testosterone's ever done that much for me. Some people are great on it.
Yeah, so you've had it before then, testosterone?
Yeah.
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 So how did you find
but then
it?
I was under the impression again, putting loads of that on, because I didn't know. I was slapping it on. And then my hair growth, I was like Father Christmas.
Oh, bless you.
Where were you slapping it on?
Oh, legs and arms and everything like that. Slapping it on.
Yeah.
Because you have no guidance to these things,
I can't believe you had no guidance, because I went to Newson and I'm on testosterone, but I use the tester gel, so it's the little sachet, and they told me to use that sachet over about 5 or 6 days. So I'd literally put half a pea's worth on my finger, as in a green garden pea, half of one of them, and just slap it on my thigh.
Does it help you?
Yeah, it really helped. It helped my mental health symptoms. When I first started with it, I was getting really bad anxiety and panic attacks, and then irrational thoughts, and I felt like I was slipping off the planet, and I was absolutely scared to death. And when I eventually sort of went to, the doctor again said, oh, are you going to give me HRT, or but he did offer HRT or antidepressants. But I felt like I needed a bit more time than just 5 minutes with the doctor. And so I did go to Noosan, and they kind of like said, oh, we're really, you're so perimenopausal. So they then started me on estrogen and progesterone. And after a while, that didn't really seem to help my symptoms. But when they added in the testosterone, within about 3 or 4 or 5 months, I was back in the room and I felt back to myself. And the anxiety and panic attacks totally went, the irrational thoughts went, and I just felt so much more balanced. But because I'd gone through Noosan, I'd kind of followed like a pathway, I guess. I'd started on the estrogen, just like 1 pump, then the second month it was like 2 pumps, then the third month, went up to 3, and then the late, like they did, worked it out with the progesterone so that it was in line with the estrogen. And then the testosterone was, it was a teeny tiny amount initially. And then I was able to add a little bit more. And yeah, that did balance me out big time. So, and I'm still on it now.
See, I don't know. I don't know whether to like go back on it, but I don't know. It's just like when you go through it, you sort of like feel like you lose yourself. And I like still now have like lost a bit of enjoyment for life.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like things that used to be funny, and I think they're not funny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
I don't. Weird.
I can understand, because I kind of I felt like I lost a lot of, I lost anything that I felt any joy in.
Yeah.
And things that would never have bothered me would make me burst into tears. I couldn't watch any films or TV shows where anybody got hurt. It didn't matter who it was. And if there was a dog charity on an advert, then God help me and God help everyone who I live with, because I'd be in a flood of tears. So it is absolutely bonkers what happens to us. And mine wasn't a surgical menopause, so mine had been happening to me slowly, and I don't think I understood because it was during COVID. So of course we were in this weird time frame anyway. But obviously you went in and you went from having, things sort of like functioning as they always had, and then boom, everything sort of changed for you.
Yeah. Most of like as well, it just, I don't know, it's just weird. It changes like your hair, my hair's still thin. It's like as thin as pubic hair.
Yeah.
Everything's just changes so much.
Yeah.
And now it took, how long has it took for the old menopause to come to the forefront?
Oh gosh, I know. Well, I mean, there's only half the population going through it, Jill. So I mean, it's not many of us, is it?
No, not at all. And then when in COVID, I was like working from home, going through it here.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't cope at all. I just could not cope.
No, I
then
couldn't.
I started like really turning to drink as well.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad to get through it.
Yeah.
And then I just thought, I can't carry on like this anymore. I'm under the mental health team as well. Good job, they've really helped me.
Yeah.
But now I do things like you have to do stuff for self-care, like yoga and stuff, like for the brain. And
yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, because you said something about the sound bath. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that you're doing that are kind of helping you through it all.
The gong bath was really weird. At first I was thinking, what's that? And I went, because people, my mate said to me, what? You sit in a bath while you bang the gong? I went, so stupid. You just go, like, and it's just lovely. Like, you just lie down on a bed, and I don't really know what she was doing because I had my eyes closed, but I knew she was like burning stuff, oils and all, And then you just bang, and the waves of the gong like send the vibration through your body. Wow. And it's just so nice and peaceful.
So did you feel peaceful when you finished? When you sort of like
and
left?
Then it's lovely, like floaty, that type of thing. And then last week I went to the 2-hour like session about myself. It was like getting all the stuff out, and then after that she was like playing music, and I don't really know what she was doing anyway, but it was really nice, just a clear out session of loads of stuff and what you want to get off your chest and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or I just do stuff like that, to help myself. And then what you eat, I think, matters as well.
Yes,
massively.
Really do things. Yeah, really bad. Because did you say you are what you eat?
Yeah, that's true.
I think we
just-
become more intolerant of stuff as we get a bit older as well, and so we have to be even more careful about what we're eating, because it has a stronger effect on us if we're not eating the right things. That's my personal opinion anyway, because that's my experience. I'm not able to tolerate stuff that I used to be able to eat really easily. I have to be really careful with what I eat now.
Yeah, even drink I can't. I have to have decaf. Because if I just drink a normal tea bag or coffee, all my neck flares up.
Does it?
Stuff like that, yeah. Really badly.
It's been like getting to know yourself again, isn't it, Jo?
Yeah, it really. And you know, like when people, they haven't gone through it. And I don't know, because it's not so much physical. People, like, don't think that you're suffering.
No.
You know, because you can't physically see it. Because it's inside. You think, like, oh, you're over-exaggerating. Or I'll have mates and they'll go, oh, I've got this and got that. And I feel like saying, yours is nothing compared to, you know, like, when I explain mine, and they'll go, oh, yeah, well, I've got this and I've got that. And I think, oh, sure, can't be bothered. Can't be bothered with, But, yeah, it is, like, really, I don't know, it's just looking after yourself. That's the main thing.
Definitely.
And then when you add other factors into it as well, what's going on in your life, it's heavy, it's hard. You know, other stuff like grief and all stuff like that. Grief as well, like when you go through the menopause, grief is like, it can make it a lot worse. I found out because you're thinking about it in your head and you're just thinking, wow. But I've got friends who, like another girl who I know, she was really, really young when she went through it. And she's been through a terrible time as well. And I just think mine, like, it is obviously something to me, but when you see other people who've suffered, you think, you know, yours isn't that bad, but it's just all down to yourself, I think, really. You've got to make the battle and fall for yourself, because there's no one there who really is going to help you, really, I think.
And so, with having a support network as well, though, it's really important, isn't it, to have other people that have been through similar experiences and spend time with them, and it makes you feel not so quite alone, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's lovely when you speak to someone who's on the same level. Yes. And you go, oh, yeah. It's just really nice. But that's why I think, like, there's just not enough things for women, like, to do, you know, regarding the menopause.
It is.
And then I feel so sorry.
Go on.
Sorry. For Louise Newsom when we done that documentary
program.
about that.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. They really helped me in the spot that I was in at that point. I was, not great at all. And, they were absolutely fantastic. And I'm still really grateful. I mean, I think that was in 2021 I started seeing them. And I'm still so very grateful for the time they spent with me. My first appointment, I think they spent about an hour and 20 minutes with me. And, you know, just like, it was just the fact, and we talk about it quite a bit on the podcast, it's just, you know, when you just feel heard. I knew if I just went to see my doctor, I'd get 5-10 minutes of his time. I mean, he's a great GP, but he's a guy. So for a start, it's something that probably isn't, you know, it's not going to happen to him. And, you know, like we've said, you know, they don't necessarily know everything to do with the menopause and perimenopause. And so, you know, just feeling heard, that someone actually clocked what was going on and almost went, bloody hell, that is perimenopause. Because that in itself, just someone recognising from what I was saying, that is the journey, that was what was happening, that took away so much of my stress, because I just thought I was having a breakdown or something. I just could not work it out. So just having someone who's got the experience, that made a world of difference to me. Even
though now, like, you know, after the hysterectomy, like, I've looked into it myself, they don't tell you that to go in the toilet business after it, you're going to suffer, because I suffer going to the toilet.
Really?
Because you've had organs took away, they all fall onto one another.
Oh, Christ.
So it falls onto your back. So I have been going to a class in the hospital about, it's called a POP class. It's like a prolapse class, you know, like, and it's been good, 4 weeks it is, and they give you education, like, how to go to the toilet, stuff like that. And you watch videos and you do little exercises and stuff like that. And I can't believe I was that mad. I said to her, why don't women know about this? No one knows. I said, I wouldn't have known about it unless I'd come to see the physio to go to the toilet. I didn't know this. So things like that should be advertised, and it's not.
Well, you should know all of that really before you go for surgery, shouldn't you? So at least you're aware of it when you come out, kind of like you're aware of what to expect. Yeah, it's
even like for women who can't hold the wheezing, me being one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when you sneeze or cough, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I said, why isn't this a thing? She said, well, not everyone knows about it on the NHS until you've got to be like put forward from your GP to them.
Okay.
And then they'll say, do you want to go to the class?
Yeah.
But it would be so helpful to loads of women, I think. And I just think...
I mean, they tend to do the pelvic floors, don't they? I remember I had my second baby. I mean, he was a big baby. He was 10.5 pounds. But I remember going around to a friend's house maybe 3 or 4 months later on, and they had a massive 10, 12-foot trampoline. And she was like, oh, you're going to have a go? So I was like, yeah, all right, then I'll have a go. So I get on the trampoline and bouncing up and down. Literally, within about 10 seconds, I've totally peed myself through my pants, through my leggings, dribbling down my leg. And I was just like, what fresh frickin' hell is this? Because that had never happened before. So, yeah, I mean, but then I was a bugger and I never did my pelvic floors because I think I just couldn't be arsed.
I mean, he was sitting here doing it now.
I know, driving around,
So what else are you learning in those classes then, Jill?
It's like the tightening of your pelvic muscles, the breathing. And then she says when you go to the toilet for number 2, she says, what does she say? Breathe in the bubbles and then smell the flowers as you breathe out. I'm like, right, okay, I will say that while I'm sitting on the toilet.
Does yours smell like flowers then?
No,
mine don't.
I don't know. And then you watch a video of a little unicorn who has a poo. It's like a little cartoon, and they like to say like, oh, this is how you go to the toilet, and look what the unicorn's done. You can actually watch it on YouTube as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The other way as well, like going for number 2, I struggled terribly with that, really bad.
And is that since having the surgery, or was that before? Yeah. Okay.
Like really bad, and then it gets to the point where you can have one of these machines, which I've got one, and I don't like to use it. It's like a pump, and you put warm water in it, and you press the pump. And it sends water through, to flush it out.
Yes,
I mean, it's not nice.
No.
But it does do the job. But this is all like that I've found out since the hysterectomy what happens. Okay. Which, like, he don't tell you nothing like that.
You literally just got dropped in the deep end, didn't you? And had to learn to swim yourself and find out all this information all for yourself. Yeah.
I mean, every woman I've spoke to after it is just the main thing that's being for them is their mental health.
Right.
That's the big one, really. And then when you go to doctors, I just think it's awful. I mean, I think the amount of times I've gone to doctors and like they've probably could have said to me, bar here, because I've just gone over and kicked off. Yeah. It's been a lot. I've even gone over there with like menopause booklets myself and said, can I give these out in here? Yeah. And they've gone, oh, yeah. So I've just left them on the counter.
Yeah.
Because it's that bad. Yeah. But I don't know. But I'm a bit better now than what I was.
Good.
A lot better. But I've lost a lot through it. I've lost friends and everything through it. I've had, you're not the same person you used to be.
No.
Stuff like that. It used to be funny. You're not funny anymore.
Well, you've been through a lot, Jill, haven't you?
Yeah, I have been through a lot, but... Then I don't want it to all become, because a lot of menopause, I think, is all made doom and gloom.
Yes.
Really, isn't it? It is.
Yeah.
And some of the stories aren't that. And then if you say all doom and gloom, people are terrified.
Of course they are.
Thinking like, oh God, I don't want that to happen to me. But it's not like that, because every woman's journey is completely different.
Yes, it is. It really is.
I've had aunties who didn't even know she was in it.
Yeah.
She just flew right through it. Yeah. And then I think, how lucky are you?
Yeah, I know.
But what you've said, Jill, about what you've learned about looking after yourself and doing things for yourself and eating well and you know, going and doing these complementary therapies and all that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that is the common thread that we are hearing. So as much as we're all having different experiences all the way through our perimenopause and menopause, the common thread is that, you know, actually, if we're doing these things, it does help. It might not take it all away, and we're not saying there's a magic pill. But if you're moving more, if you're managing to sleep well, if you're managing to eat well and drink plenty of water and have connections with those around you, these are like the basic things that we all need as human beings, let alone as women or as perimenopausal women. These are all our basic things that we all need. So if we make sure that we're all getting those, then it will hopefully make the journey a lot less painful.
Yeah. Of course. Even supplements as well, people tell you to take. You know, it's like, take this, take that, take this, take that. Then I was like, must have been taking as much vitamins that they sell in Home and Bargain, London Bargain. I was rattling. I've got to stop them because they interfere with your estrogen. So you don't know whether you're doing good or bad.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I've done a bit as well for it. I managed to go down to Soho, done a little thing with Hair Vitality for menopause, which is going to be, it's on their website, you know, like a little advertisement for women.
Oh,
There's like 5 of us. It was lovely.
Oh,
went down there, in the Hamhard Hotel. It was lovely, beautiful. And then they done stories on us, you know, on a podcast, and we sat, and then they put it all together, and it was really lovely, honestly, really nice. And there was a doctor there who spoke to about surgical menopause. She was really helpful, but it was lovely. And that's the thing, I think, like, I want to do. I want to just get surgical menopause out there because it's not spoken about enough.
Definitely.
And it's so unfair, honestly. I mean, even on Instagram, you'll see these people who are saying, oh, I'm a menopause coach, or I'm a menopause lifestyle. And then I think, why are you? What? You know how to, like, a bit of nutrition, or you think, like, go out and do a circuit and get in an ice cold bath, everything will be okay. Little do these people realise ice cold baths are the worst thing for menopause women. You know, your cortisol levels, that's another thing. It sends them through the roof. And then you go into fight or flight or shock. It's just not good. And then, like, you see people advertising it, and I think, wow, I don't know. For me, it's just mind-boggling for me.
It's just really important, isn't it, for us to all work on our own toolbox throughout our midlife years, to know what works for us and what the things that we can rely on to help us through.
It's just really important that the fact of the way perimenopause, menopause and postmenopause is spoke about so much. But I understand not everyone will know about surgical menopause because they don't know. So they don't speak about it, but just don't forget about it. You know, and don't, because when I was down, when I went to Oxfordshire, I met a girl. She's on Instagram called Ginge Unhinged. Have you heard of her?
No, I've not. I have to look her up, though.
She's made a book as well. She just went through surgical, and she's just a normal girl like me.
Yep.
And she's done so well for herself. And she was, like, saying about surgical menopause, you know, and she's done all kinds for it. And then still to the day, like, I just can't understand why it's not spoken about, you know. Even, like, women who go through cancer treatments, it's not spoken about for them. Or
no.
What is it, premature ovarian insufficiency? That's the same. They're not spoken about.
Yeah.
It's just so unfair, and then it drives people mad.
Well, I think the reason that we started this podcast was basically because of our own experiences with perimenopause and the fact that, honest to God, Joe, I really thought that it would be a case of my periods would stop. I might get a bit arsey, I might be a bit sweaty, but then the next day I'd just be normal. And that was not my experience. And it took me about 18 months to sort my shit out and feel like a human being again. And I thought, if I'd have known, like you, coming on this podcast and talking about your journey, this is pretty much why this podcast, you know, exists, because Lou and I had conversations about our experiences and went, we just want people to talk about their journeys, because by us all talking about our journeys, hopefully someone will go, oh my God, that's how that's how I feel, or at least won't feel so alone, and we'll learn about each other, like learn about surgical menopause, learn about women going through cancer treatments who go into go into menopause early, and all these other things like PCOS and all these other things that kind of don't really get raised unless you or someone really close to you is going through something.
Yeah.
You don't even know anything about it. I have learned, and I think I can say the same for Lou, I'd say we have both learned so much about our own bodies, about our own minds, about how we work, about the things that we need in our lives to make us feel that joy, and feel like, sort of like happy and really well functioning human beings. That has been a real frigging journey. And it's totally different.
It's brilliant that you're doing this podcast. It's absolutely brilliant that you're doing it.
Yeah, but it's a journey that we continue to do, because every day is different, isn't it?
Oh my God,
and
everyone's
like
different.
you said earlier, Jill, life throws up stuff as well. So you can be thinking that you're feeling all lovely and you've managed to, go on your sound bath and it was brilliant, but then all of a sudden life throws something your way, and no matter what you do, it throws you. So it's we're human beings at the end of the day. It's a continual work in progress,
oh my God,
isn't it?
we are a work in progress.
Yeah.
You could go through all the counselling and therapy that you can, and which I have, and you can sit and talk.
Yeah.
It's all good, but it's not about the sitting and talking, it's about the doing.
Yeah.
You have to get up and do it yourself. You have to just make it, because I've been to counselling and therapy, sat there, all feeling great, got it off my chest, but then I'm thinking, well, I'm all right walking, saying it, but I'm not like actually doing what I'm going to say. Because you go back into, I can't be bothered, I can't be asked.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. You've just got to get up and do it yourself.
Yeah, you have. You've got to be, you've got to really put yourself first, haven't you? And actually follow through on the, when somebody says something that actually resonates and I know that would be a good thing. I think maybe an old head on my younger shoulders after having my 10.5-pound baby might have said, Michelle, you might have been better off doing them pelvic floors.
Same. I actually went, have you seen the chair that they've got now where you can sit on the chair?
What, to give
birth? It's a pelvic floor chair.
Oh, okay.
One of my friends had it, so I had a few sessions. It's like, you sit on the chair, right? It's like it's nice, a comfy chair. It sends like electric currencies through you.
Ooh.
And then you have to like suck in, like you're doing the pelvic muscle thing with it. And she says, right, after 10, now push in, let go, push in, let go. And you can hear it, it's going.
Oh my word, I don't know if I want to do that.
It doesn't hurt, it's quite relaxing, it's odd.
Yeah, but, imagine it's odd having an electric shock in your foo-foo.
It's like a pulse point, that.
Well, like a Tay's machine sort of thing.
Yeah, like that.
That's sort of like, Yeah, I had one of those when I was in labour. Yeah.
It is. Well, I've tried everything, me.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But I think we do, don't we? Because I think by nature we're kind of curious to get ourselves right. So we
you
will
grab
try.
anything at the first chance, thinking, this is going to fix me.
Yeah.
And then,
of course we do. And that's the journey, I think, isn't it? We're kind of we're working things out as we go. Like you, I went for therapy because this was before I started on the HRT. And I had like about 8 or 9 months of hypnotherapy going every week. And, I just couldn't work it out. And I think before I started the HRT and got my hormones levelled out, the therapist thought I had PTSD, but we just couldn't work out from what. So it's insane what these hormones do to us. And it's insane that we don't know more about what these hormones do to us. Because if you'd have had that booklet that told you about all the things, going to the toilet, how your emotions would be, how your hormones would be, how you'd feel in yourself following surgery, at least you'd have been prepared, and at least you'd have had the tools, a few more tools in your box, and at least you might have understood how to implement the HRT. And, at least I wouldn't have felt like I was having a mental breakdown and all the rest of it. But, all we can do is kind of talk about our journeys and sort of hope that along the way it might help somebody else not have such a shitty time.
Yeah, of course.
So, which is what you're doing, talking to us and getting in touch, and you know, it's what we're trying to do here as well. We just want to help each other, don't we?
Because I think there's so much information out there, isn't there? So even if you do start doing your own research, there's so much contradictory stuff, and even that in itself can get quite overwhelming, can't it?
Of course it can.
Yeah, of course.
It's so much.
What works for one person, though, won't always work for another.
And that's it.
So I just think you've just got to find your own path, and you know.
I guess it's because we've come to this point in our lives from very, very different directions. You know, we've eaten different foods, we've lived in different places, we've experienced different experiences. You know, so we're all totally different people. But the one commonality we have is that we're all women, and you know, that your story might cross over with mine, even though I've not had a surgical menopause, but it might cross over with mine a little bit. Mine might cross over with someone else's might cross over with Lou's. And just kind of being there and just talking about our stories. It feels, you know, it just feels good to sort of be doing a bit of something.
I've been reading a good book as well.
Go on, we love a good book recommendation.
It's Maisie Hill. Have you heard of it?
Yes, yeah, I've heard of Maisie Hill.
Powerful, it's called.
Wait, what's it called?
Powerful.
Oh, Powerful.
And it's so good. Yeah, it's about like the way your mind thinks and why you think like that.
Ooh.
So when my mind was going a bit, I was reading it and like the penny was dropping and I was going, oh my God. You know, like thinking, wow. And I won this book. I happened to like go on because she said, I wrote this book and like people had entered and I thought, oh, I'll give it a go and enter. Anyway, I won the book.
Oh, I love that.
So you were meant to have it.
And then, honest to God, I just love it because when I was going down to London, I read it on the train and I had so many like penny dropping moments and I was thinking, wow, I do that. You know, like we go, wow, I would do that. Yeah. And then it tells you why you do it. And I just thought, wow, it's such a good book though to read, and it just makes a lot of things clearer why your mind. And I think your mind plays tricks on you as well, especially going through the menopause, because you overthink everything.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, absolutely. So that's Maisie Hill. I've got a feeling, I mean, I might be totally wrong, but I think she wrote a book called, is it called Perimenopause Power or Peri-Power, or is it just called Powerful?
She has written one called that.
She has,
She said, "Oh, what you mean is period power." She wrote that.
That's the one. Yeah, I knew that I'd heard of her in that kind of women's health arena.
Period power.
Got it. Yeah, Period Power. Well, we'll put a link to that book in the show notes, Jill, because that's, you know,
really good.
Yeah. So remind me. Sorry, what's the name of the book?
Powerful.
I think one's called Powerful.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. We'll definitely put that in. No, I think books. It's kind of like Lou said. It's the tools that you can use that help you. Or like if you're having one of those moments and you just need to like grab something and have a little look, and then you can kind of go, oh my God, yeah, that's what I'm doing, and you can it kind of just makes you feel a little bit better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yes. It does make you feel better.
Defo. Go on.
So I was just about to say, well, it sounds like it's been really quite tough, Jill, but what you've done is kind of work through a lot of it, and you certainly sounds like you're in a better place than you were.
Yeah. Still do struggle now because I have like where it says something like bad phases where I'll put myself in bed for days.
Right.
Like MDD, they said, because the mental health, it's a bit like manic depressive disorder.
Okay.
So I'll have great times and then I'll have really bad times where I'll segregate myself because I'm not really nice to be around. I know it's happening, but I can't stop it. And it's through the doctors have said it's through my ovaries getting took, you know, so fast, and the drop of your hormones. But I take medication for it, but it's just, I can't stop it. I can't. It's like PMDD, you've heard of that, haven't you?
Yeah,
it's a bit like that.
Yeah.
But my lows are low and my highs are all right, but I just try and like, you know, I know it's coming anyway, so that's a good thing. I know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's just so weird, because I don't know, your ovaries, you just don't realise how much and what they do for your body, for your woman.
Well,
you
know,
you
don't, do you? Because you don't. None of us really listened at school, and we wouldn't have probably been told much about it. And let's face it, when we were at school, we were probably 13 or 14, and I can tell you I weren't thinking about me. Well, maybe I was thinking about me ovaries. But
and
yeah,
you
you
think
don't.
about your mum and you'd go, well, she's an orky cow. She's going through the menopause, leave her.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
That was about
But she
it.
used to do. Yeah. And then now you just think, wow, I should have listened then, but no, you don't really at all.
No.
But,
No.
But we're in the generation now that's talking about it a lot more than they were in our mums' eras, really, aren't we? And
I'm on the phone. Right. No, we don't talk about it at all, and we should talk about it. I try to talk about it every day.
Yes.
Actually bore people, and they go, oh, you going on about the menopause again?
oh, we're
yeah.
the same.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, my eldest son said to me the other day, he said, "Oh God, Mum, you've got me at it." And I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "I was at a party and one of the aunties came over and she was talking to me about perimenopause, and I told her about your podcast and I was talking to her about it." He says, "I know more about perimenopause than I should do."
But again, it's great that they know, you know. So did you say you've got a son?
Yeah, he's 25, Owen.
Yeah. So does
He knows all
so he
about
knows
it.
all about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he knows all about it.
Yeah.
Even like now, like still now, I get terrible brain fog and forgetfulness.
Yeah.
That's one of my worst traits. Like, he just laughs.
Yeah.
I laugh at myself. You have to, don't you?
You do.
Oh my God, you do. We have to see the light, don't we? We have to kind of have a bit of a laugh at ourselves and.
Yeah, I've done some corkers as well. The other day, Rich, my partner, was in the car outside, so I come out, and I wasn't looking, pulling on the door, I'm shouting, Rich, it was next door's car. Oh my God. So they're going to see me out the window and go, what the hell is she doing?
That is the kind of thing I'd do, to be fair.
Yeah.
I've done loads. Gone to the train station the other week, got on the wrong train on the wrong side.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
God.
So where am I going? Where am I going?
Maybe your body wanted to go somewhere else.
Yeah, probably. I'll just get off and laugh at myself.
Oh,
But,
Well, we do
I
it,
know.
but it's nice that we can laugh about it, and it's nice that, like, you can say it, Lou can say she does it, I know that I do it. You know, I'll hold two things in my hand to take upstairs, and then I'll like open the fridge door, and then all of a sudden my brain goes, the socks don't go in the fridge. So I'll shut the fridge door, and then I'll take them up to the right bedroom. So. But it's weird, isn't it? How all of a sudden these things happen. I mean, and I'd say that I still have those things, even with HRT, where, I mean, I think tiredness plays a part in it.
Yes.
If I've not had a great night's sleep, I feel a bit more like scatty.
Yeah, defo.
And I can almost feel a little bit more like, not like a little bit kind of edgy, like, oh, I don't really, I'd rather just stay at home, you know, and be in my garden. But I don't know. It's the scattiness. It's the it's the kind of forgetting, like going somewhere and thinking, oh, I needed 3 things from the shop, and I bring back 23 things, and I don't bring back 2 of the 3 things that I needed.
Yeah.
What I've started getting is yes. But I've started having I had a thought a minute ago, and I knew I had to do something about that thought, but I can't remember what that thought is.
I do that.
Yeah.
I do that.
That's really getting me at the minute.
Yeah, I do that. I do that.
Great fun, isn't
Well,
it? Great fun.
I'll be talking to someone, and I'll be thinking in my head, what's her name?
Yeah, defo. Yeah, absolutely. Do that.
Yeah.
In fact,
And
I've
then I
been
have
guilty
to
of that
go,
this week.
you know, Thingio. Or I'll go to my mate, say her name so I'll know who she is. Stuff like that. It's really bad.
God.
It's bad, but it's funny when we all talk about it, because it's something that we all do. I didn't long ago, a couple of months ago, I started a new job, and so this week I think I've been tired because it was my 50th a couple of weeks ago, and it's just been one of those like continuous kind of celebrations. And it was my first day back at work on Monday, and I couldn't, same as you, Jill, I couldn't remember a couple of the people's names that I was working with. And I was doing exactly what you're saying there. I was waiting for another colleague to say their names so that I could say their name, because I really needed to ask them a question.
Yeah. I call it brain fart.
Oh, it's a pain in the arse.
It is brain fart.
It is proper brain fart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh, well.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, we're all in it together. We're in
Yeah.
different boats, but we're on the same sea. But you know, we're all at different levels. But having conversations like these, Jill, I think just, I don't know, I feel like it kind of pulls us all together as women, and like sharing the stories hopefully helps other people as well, and we have a laugh, we can have a laugh at some of the things, you know, and actually it's not worth getting stressed out that I forgot a couple of my colleagues' names. There's no point in getting stressed, because I know it's just part and parcel of what's going on at the minute. So if I laugh about it, that's a nicer emotion.
Yeah, of course.
And the more that we have these conversations, the more it becomes normal, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it is so normal.
Yeah, of course it is. And then there's enough like negativity on menopause as it is. So
Yeah.
I think, you know, try and make light-hearted of it if you can.
Definitely. I think that's why we always try with the podcast we sort of like talk about how you kind of found out that you were in perimenopause, or what your symptoms were and how you felt.
Yeah.
And then kind of like sort of come round to, you know, what are you doing? What's helping you, and how are you finding that? And what are you doing now that you perhaps weren't doing, you know, before? Or are you kind of, I don't know, sort of like, enjoying a different part of your life that maybe you weren't enjoying before, or doing things differently? And it's kind of just a bit of a reminder that actually, okay, so Lou and I are both 50, but, you know, potentially we've got 50 years of, you know, another life ahead. So, you know, that can be all kinds of exciting.
Yeah, of course. Got years ahead.
Exactly. We've all got these years ahead. So, yeah, you're right. If we can do, you know, and enjoy some of that, then brilliant.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Oh, good to chat to you anyway.
Yeah.
Really
Thanks,
enjoyed it.
Jill.
Really enjoyed it. I have. So if you need anything from me though in the future, don't hesitate to reach out.
Oh, no, absolutely. We definitely will. So
But yeah, it's been brilliant. Thank you for letting me speak anyway.
No, thank you,
you.
Jill. We really, really appreciate you sharing your story. So thank you so much for coming on.
And thank you to you guys. It's been lovely. Thank you.
Oh,
No
thanks,
problem.
Jill. You take care.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Wild, Wise and Curious. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, feel free to email us at info@wildwiseandcurious.com, or reach out on our socials at wild_wise_and_curious. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Stay curious, and we'll see you next time.